Hello friends, in this video we are going to discuss about Eloquent relations. So what is Eloquent relations? Actually, let's say an example. Suppose we have some students into our applications. So there are students, we added some students in last video when we're going to discuss about the Eloquents. So we have students, suppose there may have phone number, okay, and one student can have one phone number, but I don't want to add these things into here. I want to create a separate table for phones, and we will create a relations between the students table and the phone table. So how we can do this? Okay, so let's truncate that things. So here just truncate, and let's create from the start. Okay, now here we have students model, and here we have student model, and we already created these things. Okay, now I just going to create a phone model, and we will create a table so that we need a phone migrations. So just go to the command prompt. So write php artisan make model, and let's create a model name is phone, and I want the database tables also, so we need migration, so use -m. So let's enter. It will create two files, that is, one is app model phones, and inside the database migration create phones table. Okay, so let's go to the code, and here you can see there is phone model, and another is inside the database migration section we have the create phone tables migrations. Okay, so quick, just create a table and create a column here. So write table, and let's use a string type of data. So there may have plus or something space inside a phone number, so we actually use this type of string. Okay, so simply write phone. And another things, so if you go here, you can see this is the students table, and I want to relate a new table. I want to create a new table, so I need to store this id as a foreign key from that tables. Means we will create a phone table where there will have a student id. Okay, so that by that student id we can understand which phone number for which student. Okay, so let's create another column, table big integer, and here write this is student id. Okay, so this will be the foreign key, so by that student id we can understand. Okay, by that, so by that student id we can understand the relations. So here just write unsigned. Okay, and let's build the foreign key for student id. So simply write table, and here create a foreign. To create a foreign, we need to write these things, foreign foreign, and the foreign key will be the student id. Then we will create the relations, so simply write references. So this will actually reference the ID from the students table. So right here on the table name, that is, which is a table name, this is the students table. Okay, so right here students, and we can use on delete cascading. Okay, so we'll use the cascading. Okay, so write cascade. So references foreign key. Okay, so this will create a student id as foreign key. So simply and to create a relations, we need to set up the engine. We need to make sure our database engine is INODB. Okay, so simply make sure you are defining your database you are using. This is INODB database. Okay, so let's migrate php artisan migrate. So migration done. Now let's refresh. So we will get a new table, that is the phones table. Okay, so here the student id will be the foreign key for this primary id of student. Okay, so you can see the key icon, right? And if you check the relations view, you can understand the relation is created automatically, not automatically actually. For this line, actually this line is created. You can understand how we can create. Now we need to make the relations object wise, means using the ORM we'll use the object. Okay, now just here inside the phone model, let's create a relations. So actually this is the one-to-one relations. So from the phone model, we can say that public function student. Okay, so we are creating the relations, means from the phone how we can get student, means the student id is belongs to phone, means it's related to belongs to, means you return this from the phone we will get the students, and this belongs to, and this is the one-to-one relations. So simply write belongs to, and we can define the student model. So simply write app models student. Okay, so this is the relations, and from the student table we will get the phone, means how to define. So simply write public function phone, whatever you can write. I am just going to write these things. Actually we can understand by this method. That's when we're going to call the phone method from the student table, that means we'll get the phone record for the particular student. Okay, so that's the reason we are going to use. So simply write a return hash one, means here for every student there may have only one phone number. Okay, so simply write hash one, and here write app models phone. Okay, so the relation is done. Now I just going to add some records here. So here check students table is empty, phones table is empty, so let's add some data. So we are using the student controller I already created in the last video. I think you can understand how to create the controller. So public function add student. So let's add some student first, and we will add some phone number along with that. Means when you're going to create a student, we will add a phone also. Okay, so how to do that? So let's create a dollar variable student and new phone. Sorry, new student. We're going to create a student, so just write. So simply write student, and we have a student name. So simply write name equal to John. Let's add some email, student email equal to um, john at email.com. Actually this is the column name which I want to insert something. Name and email is needed. Okay, so I added that things, and let's save student save. But along with that I want to save the phone data also. Means here we can write here a dollar phone equal to new phone. Okay, so to access phone we need to use the phone model here also. So simply write phone. Okay, so that we can access this phone, and let's insert some phone data. So phone, and here write what is the column name. Actually the column name is phone. Okay, phone, and just add some random number. Okay, and if you just going to insert this phone number, then only phone will add. But how to create the relations, how to get the student id? So we already have defined the foreign key as a student id. So here I just going to add using the student object student, and here we just created the phone method. So let's call the phone method, and now I just going to save these things. What I will save, this object will save. Okay, so this object will create the phone data along with this student data. Okay, now just write here return a student added with phone. Okay, so let's try to insert. So just go into the routes and let's call the route get, and here write insert student with phone. Okay, and simply write student controller. So here call class, and then add student phone data. Okay, so let's create a functions for that things, or you can write the add student here. Okay, so simply add student here, and let's call this thing and let's check whether it's working or not. So simply write insert student phone. So student added with a phone. Okay, so now let's check. So just go to the students. So here you can see the john at the email.com student is added. Now if you check the phones, yes, this student ID also is added with the phone, means this is the foreign key. So if you click on that things, you will go to the student's ID one, right? So these are the relations. Okay, so student is added. Now add another things. Let's change some data. So here write Rick, and here write Rick, and let's create some defined number. Okay, and let's refresh again, and it will insert another data John and Rick and their phone number. Okay, so this is the one-to-one relations, means for every student we have data, but how to access that things, means how to get, if you want to get the student phone, how to face this. Okay, so for that reason we created the relations functions also. So using that function we can call. Okay, now first I am thinking I want to get the student by phone number, or phone ID actually. So simply write public function, and let's see, create get student by phone ID. I actually going to check using the phone number whatever we are getting or not, means whatever student are getting or not. Another functions get phone by student ID. So we'll see both things. Okay, get phone by student ID, get student by phone ID. So all we can do. So simply write ID. So here I will pass the student ID, and here I will pass the phone ID. Okay, so ID means that is the database ID. Okay, now here just write suppose here get phone by student ID. So let's create data, and here just calling the student student student, and let's find for this ID. Okay, and we'll call the method. We are using this model, so we'll call this phone. Okay, now just to return data, return data. So let's see by student ID whether we can get the phone or not. So simply just copy, and let's use this as a route also, get phone by student ID. So simply just pass the ID, actually we need the ID. So now go into the browser, and let's see, suppose I want to pass the John ID, means based on this id we need to fetch these things. Okay, so this is the student id, so I want to get these things, so I am just passing 1. So here you can see the phone number is 98784, which actually for John. So if you are going to fetch the Rick's ID, you can do. So here you can see the second ID is added. Now let's do the reverse thing. So based on phone ID, I want to fetch whether we are getting the student or not. Okay, so now just go here. So based on phone we'll get the student, so simply write data, and here we'll use the phone and find. And what we'll find, actually we'll find the student. Okay, and let's use the id for the phone. Okay, now return data. Okay, so let's go to this link and let's check. I am providing the phone id 2, and let's see, this is the Rick's id. Okay, so for Rick this the phone is headed. So if you go to the one, means I want to get the name which are using this phone, so you can see the John. Okay, another interesting thing I want to see, means we will not pass any id. Actually I want to get all the students with all the related phone data. So how we can do this? So simply write another functions, public function. Let's use the student details. Okay, we don't need to provide any id, so here simply we just going to get all the data. Okay, so simply write based on student we are fetching the data, so student and get. So if I just write here the return dollar student, you can understand. If you just return retu, sorry, spelling mistake, if you return these things it will only get the student data. So let's check. Okay, so route get, and let's call the student details, student details, and here write student controller, and let's call the functions. So simply just go here and let's try. So we'll get all the students data here, so whatever in the students table we're getting, but I need the phone number along with this. So we have functions to fetch the phone, so simply use this phone. So I need this data with phone. You can understand how easily we can do this. So simply refresh. So we are getting the student data, along with this we are getting the phone data. We are getting the student data, along with this we are getting the phone data. Means you can understand how easily we can get all the data which I need. We don't need to write any single query, we don't need to think about that things. We just need to know, we just need to understand what is the relation between those tables. Means one student can have one phone number, so this will be hash one relations. Okay, so you can understand how easily we can do all the things. Means by student id we can get the phone, by phone id we can get the student, and if you want to get all the student with all the phone number related to that student we can get. Okay, so please, so hope we can understand, and please like and subscribe this channel for upcoming video. Next we are going to discuss about one to many relations. Thanks for watching this video. Have a good day. Bye.